They had no medicine like ours, no safety nets, no promise that tomorrow would be better. And yet, in a forgotten corner of the ancient world, a single flame burned on a small stone altar. Not for Jupiter, not for Mars, for a goddess almost no one remembers today, though we may need her more than ever. Her name was Spes, the goddess of hope. Not hope as a vague wish, but hope as a sacred, public duty. The Romans built her a temple, and when fire and lightning destroyed it, they did something strange. They built it again, and again, and again. Picture the Forum Holitorium, ancient Rome's produce market. Among the stalls of cabbages, lentils and noise, one building rises, modest but stubborn. The Temple of Spes. And here's the strange part. Lightning had struck it. Fire had reduced it to ash. Yet every time it fell, the people came back, not to mourn, but to lay another stone. Because they understood something we've forgotten. Hope isn't a feeling you happen to catch. It's a structure you choose to maintain. So who was Spes? No thunderbolts. No vengeful floods. Roman artists pictured her as a young woman in flowing robes, holding a single budding flower, fragile but deliberate. And look closely, she's almost always shown mid-step, lifting the hem of her robe, walking forward. To the Romans, hope had direction. It moved. It didn't sit still and sigh. It leaned toward what hadn't happened yet, and took a step. And this wasn't a goddess for private panic only. Spes had a public festival. Every August 1st, Romans gathered to honor her, renewing their hope the way we might renew a vow, deliberately, together, out in the open. It was a day to admit a hard truth. Hope kept alone in the dark tends to flicker out. But hope spoken aloud, shared in a crowd, becomes a fire strong enough to hold back the night. Notice where they put her. Not on some quiet, distant hill, but right in the middle of the market, among the onions, the debts, the crying infants. The location itself is a sermon in stone. Hope doesn't live in perfect silence, sealed away from the mess. It lives in the noise. It's meant to be breathed in alongside the smell of the day's bread. But the tragedies kept coming. Fire. Lightning. Civil war tearing the city apart. And still, they rebuilt. Not because they believed nothing bad would ever happen again. They knew better. They rebuilt because the rebuilding was the hope. Every fresh stone was a sentence spoken to the future. We are still here. We still believe in a harbor, even if, from where we stand, we can't yet see it. And here's where the Romans break sharply from how we think today. We treat hope as a fragile emotion, something that can be taken from us. They saw it as a garrison, a fortress wall you man through the night, something you refuse to abandon, even when the odds are laughable. Because for them, hope wasn't a mood that came and went. It was a virtue, a discipline, something you do on purpose. And the evidence is everywhere, once you know to look. Roman coins, those little messengers of empire, carry her image again and again. On one side, the emperor's face. On the other, a young woman, with a flower and a single word, Spes. Often paired with the phrase spes publica, the hope of the public, the hope of all. Imagine that coin landing in your palm. Every purchase, a quiet reminder. The state itself carries hope and hands it to you. The spirit of Spes outlived her temples, and you can still hear it in Latin words. Dum Spiro, Spero. While I breathe, I hope. Let's be honest, this exact motto comes from later centuries, not from the altar itself. But its roots run straight back to Rome. Cicero once wrote that as long as a sick man has life, he is said to have hope. Same idea. Tie hope to the most basic fact there is, the inhale, the exhale. not a luxury breath. And yet Spes carried a quiet shadow. She wasn't the goddess of victory, not the goddess of wealth. She was the goddess of maybe. The Romans understood that hope only lives where certainty has already died. This isn't optimism. Optimism expects the happy ending. Hope keeps walking without one. Now travel east. Far from Rome, in the temples of Japan, that same human instinct took a different, luminous shape. Here she was called Kannon, the bodhisattva of compassion. Sometimes shown with 1,000 arms, each hand holding a tool of mercy, a lotus, a rope, a vase of healing water. But all those arms reach toward one thing, the sound of the world's suffering. If Spes was hope you could see, Kannon is hope that listens. Her name means, roughly, the one who hears the cries of the world. And notice what she asks of you. Nothing. She doesn't require you to be strong first. She doesn't ask for a plan. In many images she holds a willow branch, the tree that bends in a storm without snapping. The message couldn't be clearer. Hope isn't rigidity. Hope is the flexibility to survive the wind. The willow bows all night, and by morning, it stands straight again. Japan gave hope another face too, this one carved from a mother's fierce love. You may never have heard the name Kishimojin, but her story stays with you. She was once a demon who, lost in her own grief, preyed on other people's children. So the Buddha hid one of hers. In her anguish, she finally felt the pain she had been causing, and it changed her. She became the fierce protector of children. Even a demon, the story says, can become a guardian of hope. So what links Spes, Kannon, and Kishimojin, separated by oceans and centuries? Each one is a structure built around a human cry. Both worlds reached the same conclusion. This approach can't survive as a pure abstraction. It needs a face, a temple, a day marked on the calendar. Because the human heart, when it's breaking, needs to see hope, to touch it, to walk toward it. We don't just need to feel hope. We need somewhere to put it. There's a quiet lie in the modern world. That being hopeful is passive, soft, wishful, a way of dodging reality. The cult of Spes says the opposite. Hope is a practice. You don't wait until you feel hopeful to act. You act your way into being optimistic. The Roman woman who laid an offering at the altar on the worst day of her year wasn't reporting a feeling. She was performing optimism. And in performing it, slowly, she became it. So here's the invitation. This week, what if you built your own small altar to hope? Not religious, an altar of attention. One spot in your home. One object that quietly says Dum Spiro, Spero. A pebble. A photograph. A single cup. Something you can see and touch that reminds you of one thing. You're not sitting around waiting for hope to arrive. You are giving it a home. The temple of Spes burned down more than once. The literal temple of optimism, destroyed, and rebuilt anyway. Because the temple was never really the building. It was the people who kept showing up to lay the next stone. And your own life has probably burned down once or twice. A relationship, a career, a version of yourself you thought was permanent. The question was never, why did it burn? The question is the one the Romans answered with their hands. Will you leave the stones where they fell, or will you rebuild the altar? August 1st was Rome's day for mending hope. You don't have to wait for a date on a calendar, but you might need a ritual. Light a candle. Say the words out loud, Dum Spiro, Spero. Not as a magic spell, but as a statement to your own heart. You're still breathing. So your work of hoping isn't finished. The flame on the altar is still yours to tend. So here we are, standing in our own Forum Holitorium. The noisy, crowded, heartbreaking market of modern life. The stalls are overflowing, the news is loud, the future refuses to hold still. But somewhere in the middle of all of it stands a temple you've walked past 1,000 times without looking. Go back. Step inside. Spes never left. She's just been waiting for someone to remember her name, and now you do. Dumb Spiro, Spiro. While you breathe, hope. It belongs to you now.